Hello, welcome back. I still have no idea what to say for like an intro for my videos, so I'm just gonna get right into it. This is video or episode number 3. I'm gonna be doing a story time today. I'm not feeling good, so I am just being cozy in my moose onesie. I'm going to tell you guys how I got my spirit animal. Yeah, we'll just hop right into it. Thanks for being here. I am the spiritual esthetician, and thanks for clicking on this video or following the link or however you got here. Thanks for being here. So, a couple years ago, I actually wrote it in this old journal, how I got my spirit animal. So I'm gonna read it out of here. I'm gonna have to find it because it's been a while. So if you guys aren't familiar, animals, there's different, all animals have different messages and meanings, and depending on what you're going through, if you're going through something in your life and an animal presents itself or comes to you in some way or whatever, whether that's a dream, in person, whatever, it usually has a different message for you. And it's called animal medicine. And I got into animal medicine a few years ago when I was going to the Aurora Sacred Healing Center, which was a healing center, kind of like spiritual place in the Paw, where I'm from. I started to learn about animal medicine, and since then I've been really into it. There's a couple books here that I like to refer to when animals do present themselves to me. So this is just the Animals Speak pocket guide. And then this is just like the big version of it. This one I love because you could put it in your car or your purse or whatever, and you could just go through it. Say if you're driving and you see an animal or whatever, you could just go through it. So when I first got into animal medicine and stuff, there was owls, there was skunks, there was all kinds of things. But one specific story or example that I remember was when I seen a skunk. So at the time, I was in a place where people were taking advantage of me and just not really respecting me. I am a person that I will literally give the shirt off my back for you. Like, I have a really hard time saying no. When I seen the skunk, I looked it up, and the skunk means to set boundaries. So that was obviously the message at that time, was to set boundaries, learn how to say no, which I'm still working on. But I am a lot better now. So I'll just read in here. Skunk, boundaries. Now is the time to assert your boundaries. Others may be taking advantage. Demand respect and move forward at your speed. Exactly what I needed to hear. And you don't even necessarily need to get these books, but think of how the animal is, how they live, how they act. Think about their different characteristics and learn from that, or take that and let that be your message. Anyways, story time. How I got my spirit animal. And when you do start with learning animal medicine, they're called totems, I'm pretty sure. I still have a lot to learn. I'm sharing what I know, and I thought I had written it down in this book, but I guess not. Anyways, okay, so, and I'm going to, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys, I have an animal medicine altar where I have some skulls and some feathers and things like that. So if you're interested in that, stay and watch till the end. So how I got my spirit animal is I went through a shamanic journey. And if you have never heard of that, basically you go into a meditation and the spirit of the animal, there's like earth, like living, and then there's, I'm gonna have to like figure this out because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information or say it wrong, but so there's like the lower world, which is not like hell or anything like that, and then there's like earth, like where we are now, and then there's heaven or like whatever. Their spirit is in like the lower world. When I went on this shamanic journey, I had to like enter the lower world, the world where the animal's spirit live. Okay, so how I got there was I did a meditation, and you have to like kind of imagine yourself. I'm getting really comfy because I just feel like being really comfy for this. How I got to the spirit world or the lower world or whatever you want to call it. And there was a group of us, so there was probably like 8 of us, and we were all laying in like kind of a circle. When we go into this meditation, we have to like kind of visualize us going into the earth, right? So the music started, and I can't remember if she was singing or what she was doing, and it was like drumming music. The summer before this, my son, Nico, he caught his first fish, and where it was in the town where I grew up, Snow Lake. We were fishing beside the falls, which is like not very safe, but he like wanted to fish there. Like he found this rock and it was like, no, I want to fish here, like blah blah blah, whatever. So I was like, okay, like we have to be really careful. And at the time he was 9, so we get set up. Like the falls are like kind of behind us, beside us type thing, and we're on this rock. Nico's fishing, and there is like a swinging bridge that crosses the falls. So he's like fishing and like making sure everything's good. A freaking bear crosses the bridge, so the bear's like right beside us, goes across the bridge, and he's like standing right across from us on the other side of the water. And I was like, is this freaking bear gonna come over here? Like I was freaked out. So whatever, it like took off. But at the same time, when all this was happening, Nico's reeling in his first fish. And I'm like, oh my god, okay. So Nico's catching a fish. There's a freaking bear right beside us. And it was just a crazy, like, hectic experience. But I was so proud of him. He caught his first fish. We were right beside the falls, exactly where he wanted to go fish. And anyway, so he reeled up his fish, and it was a jackfish, so we didn't keep it. But it was still really, really exciting. And obviously the water, like, is flowing, right? So, because the falls are right beside us. So it was, you know, a challenging first catch because the water's like trying to take this fish, and the fish is trying to swim away, obviously, and Nico's just reeling up this fish. So really exciting. When I started this shamanic journey, that was what I pictured. Like, and I wasn't trying to control anything. I knew that, you know, if I can't do this shamanic journey, this guided meditation, if I can't imagine anything, like whatever, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm not gonna control it or anything. I'm just gonna let it happen. But the first thing I pictured was the rock, and we were at the falls where Nico caught his first fish. So I thought, okay, this is where I'm gonna do the journey, where you have to go into the earth to go on the other side. Like it's such a crazy experience. I'm picturing this rock, and I'm like, okay, it's time to transition into the animal, the spirit world of the animal, right? So like I have to get into the water. So, and nothing can really hurt you when you're in this process. Like, you can't be hurt. The animals can't hurt you. You're safe when you're doing something like this, okay? So I thought, okay, well, I'm just obviously just gonna have to do it. So I get in the water and I'm trying to go like down to the bottom, right? So other people sometimes imagine like a tree or something like that, and you go through the roots and stuff. For me, I was standing at this rock. I went into the water. The current was so strong because of the falls. So I am just like trying to swim so hard and get through this current to reach the bottom. And when I got further down, then I had all this weeds and stuff that I had to go through. So I'm like really giving her, like trying to get to the bottom, and then there's all these weeds and like stuff's getting in my way, and I'm like trying not to get taken away by the current. And anyway, I finally reached the bottom, and I feel the dirt and the mud and everything, and so I'm getting through there, and then I'm through. And as soon as I got through, I opened my eyes, kind of a thing, in the meditation. And then all of a sudden I'm in like this gorgeous, beautiful valley, and it's just like, it's almost like a haze, like a fog, but it's so pretty, and I can't explain it. But if you guys have ever watched like Heartland or anything like that, it was like that. So, and I love horses. Like, I absolutely love horses. I don't own any horses, but one day I will, because I am like a horse girl. I'm meant to be a horse girl. I love horses. Anyways, I'm like, oh my God, I know what's gonna happen for me. I'm gonna, like, my spirit animal is a horse. Oh my God. No, it wasn't. But I was in this beautiful valley, and a horse did come up to me, but then I just ran away. And I was like, okay, well, whatever, I guess I'm not like it's not for me, whatever. And then, so I keep going, I'm like kind of walking along, and then there was Gandalf or someone, like, I don't know, he looked like a Gandalf. I don't even know why he was there, but he was there. He's like, oh, keep going, and I'm like, okay. So I keep going. There was a crocodile. Okay, this crocodile was needing my help because there was like a rope or something. It was tied up in a rope or something like that. I'm trying really hard to remember like all the details because it was like 2 years ago this happened. And I thought I had it written down, but it must be in a different journal. So anyways, I'm just going off memory. So anyways, so I'm trying to like untie this crocodile, and it's just not working. Like, I'm trying my hardest. I just could not do it. So I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And I wasn't scared of the crocodile because I don't actually know if it was a crocodile or an alligator. But anyways, whatever, one of those things. I wasn't scared of it because I knew that it couldn't hurt me. Like, in these meditations, in these shamanic journeys, the animals cannot hurt you. So anyways, I was trying my best to help this crocodile, alligator, whatever it was, and I just couldn't help him. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to go. But then I had an urge to follow this rope. And so I did, and I realized it wasn't a rope, it was actually a snake. And then so I'm following this snake, like kind of like this. And then for some reason I just knew. I was like reading my spirit animal, and I was kind of like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm, you know, I'm just hanging out. I'm trying to do whatever to this fucking crocodile, alligator, whatever it was. I don't know. And it was almost like they were playing. So that's probably why, I don't know, whatever. So I moved on. I was like, okay, well, whatever. You guys keep doing whatever you're doing. See ya. And then, so I kept going, and all of a sudden I'm like in kind of a bush area. And I'm just walking. I feel like it was like almost like fall time because the ground was like crunchy, you know, when you walk on the leaves and it's crunchy. And it was like a cool, brisk kind of a day. And then my conscious mind like started kicking in, and I could hear the music, and the drums started getting faster. So I knew that it was like time to wake up, time to come out of the shamanic journey. And so I was kind of like, oh, like that's kind of disappointing. Like I didn't find my animal. But it was fine because I had a really good experience. Like I said, normally I have a hard time focusing on meditations at that time. I wasn't a super experienced meditating person. So anyways, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'll just keep going. So I'm walking and walking, like waiting to like kind of wake up. And all of a sudden, this moose, this big, beautiful moose came up to me. I was like, oh my God. And it was like this. Like we were like, hello, hi, hello. Are you my spirit animal? And it just licked me, this big, wet, freaking big ass wet tongue licked the side of my face. And he let me pet him and whatever. And then that was it. He went on his way. And I don't remember how I like left that world or that realm or whatever. That's the story of how I got my spirit animal. And the thing with spirit animals is they're kind of like friends. So they could be with you for, I can't remember how that saying goes. It's like for a season, a reason, or a lifetime or whatever. So I don't know. Like, the thing is I haven't really done a lot of work with the moose. Moose are very, very spiritual, powerful animals. I have this book here, and the meaning of a moose is just, it's an amazing animal, and I'm really grateful for him. I'm gonna read a little bit. But before I do that, animals are such spiritual, powerful, like all animals. They all have messages, they all have meanings, they all come to us when they need us. And a lot of the times when I'm doing Reiki, pretty much every single time, it's always an animal that comes forward to me. And the client that I have, they need that message from that animal. So when you come to me for Reiki, I will get like random animals all the time where it's like, oh my gosh, like I so needed that message, you know. My last Reiki client, so this is kind of cool because I never knew that I had these intuitions or whatever you want to call them, but her mom passed away, older client that I have. I had like this weird motherly nurturing presence like with me where I felt like I just needed to coddle her, you know, almost, and like play with her hair and just like nurture her when she was with me for Reiki. And I had there was a chair beside my treatment, like my massage table, and it was empty. And normally I have like a basket there to put things on, but for some reason I didn't put my basket on, and I felt like there was a motherly like person or whatever in the room, and she wanted to like hold her hand and stuff. And so I had mentioned this to her after, and while I was getting the while I was doing her Reiki, a koala bear, I had kept getting visions of a koala bear in my mind. So I had asked her a few questions if her mom was still alive, and she told me no. And I asked her what, you know, the relationship was, and it was kind of like a rocky relationship. They didn't get along all the time, and that makes so much sense because it was just like I wanted to hold her, and like, I don't know, it was a very interesting experience. But then what really freaked me out was when it didn't freak me out, I wasn't scared, but I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you know, kind of thing. I told her that I kept having visions of a koala bear in my mind, and she said, oh my gosh, my mom lived and worked in Australia for a long time. And I thought, holy crap, so your mom was with us during the session. And the koala bear, the meaning, like the meaning of the koala bear and like the characteristics of the koala bear are very nurturing. And that's exactly, like, it all tied together. The message thing that I got was that she needed to almost mother herself and, you know, do the things for herself that maybe her mom didn't do. So taking care of herself and, you know, making sure she's showing love to herself and things like that. So that was just a kind of like interesting experience that I wanted to share. So anyways, the moose, spirit animal. But yeah, pay attention. Like, when animals present themselves, look up the meaning. Even if it's like in a dream or if you see them or whatever. Like, look up the meaning, write it down, keep a little journal. Again, this book is amazing. So the keynote of the moose is the primal feminine energies and the magic of life and death. So one thing that stands out to me of the moose is it can be in the water, and it can swim and go under the water and be also on earth. Oh, it says moose calves are also born with their eyes open, which is very significant. Most of those who are open resonate with moose medicine came into this world with their inner eyes already open. It is not unusual to find such individuals getting discouraged when they work to click on those inner lights. As so many others describe their own awakening, psychic, and intuitive capabilities, these individuals must understand that they came into this with their inner lights already on. That's so true, because all of this, like, spiritual practices and everything, it comes to me so naturally. And I've always been spiritual. When I took aesthetics, that's when I kind of like, well, I've discovered like spirituality and things like that a long time ago, like when I was a child. But like, I've always been interested in like magic and like whatever. When I was in aesthetics I think that's when everything kind of started rolling. There was a crystal show in Brandon, Manitoba, where I went to school for aesthetics. And I got a pendulum, and I got like some crystals, and I was starting to learn about like energy, and I thought it was so interesting. That's when I started to learn about, you know, healing, energy healing, and all that sort of thing. When I moved back to the PA, started to learn about the chakras and all that. And I would go to the Aurora Sacred Healing Center pretty regularly, like whenever they had things going on. And I I've just loved everything about it. Like, I love animal medicine and plant medicine and learning to heal yourself through meditation and energy work and things like that. So that totally makes sense for how they say intuitive capabilities come naturally. Yeah, that's totally true. It's talking about how awkward the moose is, but it's tremendously graceful also. Like when it's, you know, just grazing along, but when it's like running or whatever, it's very like awkward and kind of like clunky, I guess. And it has the ability to camouflage itself in spite of its great size and power. That's so true. Despite the size of the moose, it does have a unique ability to move silently and speedily. The moose is often associated with the feminine energies, the maternal forces of the world, and those who align with the moose will find these forces awakened. Part of this revolves around the association with water. Water is the primal symbol of the feminine forces of the universe. It is a symbol of creativity and dynamic forms of intuition and illumination. A moose will return to the sea if it's too persistently hunted. It has the unique ability to plunge to the bottom of the lakes and can remain there feeding for up to a full minute before surfacing in a burst with fresh greens dangling from their mouths. For those who want to work with the full mystery of moose power, they should carefully study the meditated upon. It reflects the ability of the individual to learn to go back into the depths and draw new life and nourishment from it. The moose can teach the ability to move from the outer world to the inner world. It can teach us how to cross from life to death and back to stronger life. It teaches how to use the thin thread that separates life and death to one's advantage. It is not unusual to find individuals with strong moose medicine working in soul retrieval, which is exactly what I do. There's a little bit on the moose. I'll show you guys my little animal altar. Okay, so this is my little animal altar. So this is a coyote skull. I got this from the lady that ran Aurora Sacred Healing Center. So that's pretty cool. These are, I'm not sure what this is actually, but I like it. Oh, and it looks like my coyote's tooth fell out. Oh no, I'm gonna have to put that back on somehow. These are just crystals. I keep those there. This is an owl foot, which is very, very cool. And there's a little crystal in there. Somebody hit it or it ran into a vehicle. Anyways, I have some feathers left from him. I love this. It's helped me through some things, and I've prayed upon things with this guy. And well, this is just sage and stuff in here, so that's not really animal related. And then again, yeah, these are owl feathers, and I'm not sure what this one is. This is probably a raven. And then this is my little spell jar that I did a couple years ago. It has like herbs and crystals and stuff in there, and then I put like a little intuitive letter in there with my manifestations. And then I have a piece, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's some bear hair in this teddy bear jar. So my friend hit a bear in the summertime, and the bear was fine, but he left some hair on her tire. So I was like, oh, can I have it? And she gave it to me, and then I put it in that jar. So yeah, this is my little animal altar. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want more videos like this, please let me know. I loved making it. I love talking about animal medicine and educational, like spiritual things like that. So I hope you guys had a really lovely day. If you would like to go on your own shamanic journey, just check it out on YouTube. I'm sure there's tons of videos. Or if you download Insight Timer, which is an amazing, it's an amazing app for meditation, bedtime stories. My kids love listening to the bedtime stories. There's like different, like The Fox and the Hound and Peter Rabbit and like whatever. It's so good. There's tons and tons of guided meditations. There's also workshops. So there's actually a Shamanic Journey workshop. I can't remember her name right now. Dakota something. But I will link it down below and you guys can download the app. If I find any good shamanic journeying guided meditation type things, I will link it also. But yeah, I hope you guys have a really lovely day or whatever you're doing. I hope it's good, and let me know what you thought about this video down below. And yeah, I hope you guys just are doing great. Thanks for watching. Bye.